Our story begins on Kato, Nemoidia. High above the capital city, the sky was filled with starfighters and explosions. Republic pilots battled waves of separatist droid fighters, while gunships carried clone troopers into the city below. The battle was already turning in the Republic's favor. At the center of the aerial fight flew Plo Koon, leading his famous Wolfpack squadron through the chaos. "Two vulture droids on your tail, General," a clone pilot warned. "I see them," Plo replied calmly. Plo's starfighter rolled sharply through the air, drawing the droids into position. Moments later, 3 clone fighters from the Wolfpack came screaming in from above. The clones opened fire, destroying the pursuing droids in a flash of explosions. One of the clone pilots laughed over the comms. "Looks like the clankers are losing their nerve." Below them, the droid army had already begun retreating through the capital city. Smoke rose from destroyed factories as Republic forces advanced through the streets. The planet would fall far sooner than expected. Soon, the remaining separatist fighters broke formation and fled the battlefield. "Enemy fighters are retreating," a clone pilot reported. Plo felt it through the force. The battle was nearly won. "Hold formation," Plo said. "Let them run." The Republic pilots regrouped and descended toward their landing zone. Just as Plo guided his starfighter toward the surface, a transmission came through his comm channel. "General, this is Captain Jag." "Go ahead, Captain. There's a priority message from the Jedi Temple. The Council is requesting you for an immediate meeting." Plo paused briefly. "Understood. Prepare the battalion for the final push to capture the capital." "Yes, General." Plo turned his fighter toward the Republic cruiser waiting above the planet. Soon he stood inside the communications chamber of the flagship as a holographic meeting of the Jedi Council appeared before him. At the center of the room stood Anakin Skywalker. "Republic intelligence has located General Grievous," Anakin reported. "He's hiding on Utapau." The council began discussing who should go to confront the separatist general. Plo Koon remained silent, as he often did, listening to the currents of the Force. Then suddenly, he felt it, a powerful wave of fear and anxiety coming from Anakin. Plo slowly turned his head toward the young Jedi. On the surface, Anakin appeared calm, but the Force around him churned like a gathering storm. Plo said nothing. Moments later, the council reached its decision. Obi-Wan Kenobi would travel to Utapau to hunt down General Grievous. The meeting ended and the holograms faded, but as the chamber went silent, Plo could not ignore the feeling he had sensed. Something was deeply troubling Anakin Skywalker, and whatever it was, the Force warned that it could change everything. After the council meeting ended, the cruiser above Kato Nemoidia grew quiet. Most of the clone troopers were preparing for the final assault on the capital below. But inside his private quarters, Plo Koon sat motionless. The strange feeling he sensed from Anakin Skywalker still lingered in his mind. Plo slowly entered meditation, focusing deeply through the Force. He searched the currents around Anakin's presence. At first, there was only uncertainty. Then the darkness appeared. It surrounded Anakin like a growing storm, heavy with fear, anger, and desperation. The deeper Plo reached, the stronger the vision became. Suddenly, the Force pulled him somewhere else. Plo opened his eyes. He was standing inside the halls of the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. At first, the temple seemed quiet. Then he heard it. Blaster fire. Distant screams echoed through the marble halls. Plo ran toward the sound. As he reached the main corridor, he stopped in shock. Clone troopers filled the temple. They were firing on Jedi without hesitation. Blaster bolts struck down masters, knights, and Padawans alike. Temple guards tried to defend the halls, but were overwhelmed by endless waves of soldiers. Younglings ran through the corridors in terror. Jedi librarians were gunned down where they stood. The temple had become a battlefield. This cannot be," Plo whispered. He continued running through the chaos when suddenly he heard children crying. Plo turned toward the sound and rushed into a training chamber. A group of younglings stood huddled together in fear. Standing in front of them was a hooded figure. The figure slowly ignited a blue lightsaber. One by one, the younglings fell. Plo stepped forward, horrified. "Stop!" The hooded figure turned toward him. The hood shifted just enough for Plo to see the face beneath it. It was Anakin Skywalker. Without hesitation, Anakin lunged at him with his blade. Plo raised his hands, and suddenly the vision shattered. Plo gasped as he snapped out of meditation. His breathing was heavy as he tried to process what he had just seen. Clone troopers slaughtering Jedi, the temple burning, and Anakin leading the massacre. Before he could think further, the door to his quarters slid open. Inside stepped Commander Wolf. "General," Wolf said, removing his helmet, "the battalion is ready for the final push to take the city." He paused when he noticed Plo's heavy breathing. "General, are you all right?" Plo stood slowly. "I am uncertain." Wolf frowned. "What happened?" Plo looked toward the stars outside the viewport. "The Force has shown me something troubling," he said quietly. "I fear that the Jedi Temple may soon be attacked." Wolf crossed his arms. "By who? The Separatists?" Plo shook his head. "I do not know," Plo said, deciding to not tell Wolf the whole truth. There was a brief silence. Finally, Wolf spoke again. "So what are your orders, General?" Plo turned back toward him. "You will lead the final assault on Kato Nemoidia." Wolf raised an eyebrow. "You're leaving?" "I must return to Coruscant immediately." Wolf chuckled slightly. "Well, I guess the Wolf Pack will finally get the credit for once instead of the Jedi." Plo placed a hand on Wolf's shoulder. "I trust you, Commander." Wolf nodded. "We won't let you down." Minutes later, Plo entered the cruiser's hangar bay. Clone engineers moved out of the way as his starfighter powered up. The Jedi Master climbed into the cockpit. Something terrible was coming, and if the vision was true, the Jedi would need to be warned. Plo's fighter lifted from the hangar and shot into space. Moments later, it jumped to hyperspace, racing toward Coruscant. On Coruscant, events were already moving quickly. Inside the private office of Supreme Chancellor Palpatine, Anakin Skywalker stood frozen after hearing the truth. "Learn to know the dark side of the Force, and you'll be able to save your wife from certain death," Palpatine said calmly. Anakin's heart pounded. "You're the Sith Lord." Palpatine did not deny it. Instead, he simply smiled. Anakin left the office immediately, racing back to the Jedi Temple. Once there, he reported everything to Mace Windu. Windu wasted no time. He assembled a strike team of Jedi Masters, Kit Fisto, Sae Teen, and Agen Kolar. "We will arrest the Chancellor," Windu said firmly. He then turned to Anakin. "You will remain here in the council chamber and wait for our return." Though conflicted, Anakin nodded. The Jedi Masters left. Time passed. Anakin sat alone in the council chamber, staring out over the endless skyline of Coruscant. His thoughts raced. Palpatine had promised him something the Jedi never could: the power to save Padme Amidala. If the Jedi killed him, that knowledge would die with him. Anakin clenched his fists. Finally, unable to take it any longer, Anakin stood and began walking toward the chamber doors. He was going to stop them. But just as the doors opened, someone was standing there. Plo Koon. Anakin froze in surprise. "Master Plo, when did you get back?" Plo studied him carefully through his mask. "Just now," Plo replied calmly. "But something troubles you, young Skywalker." Anakin hesitated. "Not now. I need to go." He tried to walk past Plo, but Plo gently raised his hand, blocking the doorway. What is happening, Anakin? Anakin sighed in frustration. The Chancellor. He's the Sith Lord. Plo remained still. Masters Windu, Fisto, Teen, and Kolar went to arrest him, Anakin continued. I have to go. Plo could feel the fear within Anakin growing stronger. There is something else troubling you, Plo said quietly. Anakin looked away. It doesn't matter. It does, Plo replied. After a long moment, Anakin finally spoke. I've been having visions, he admitted. Nightmares, like the ones I had of my mother. Plo listened carefully. What did you see? Anakin hesitated. Someone close to me, dying. He did not say her name, but Plo already understood. Palpatine told me he could save them. Anakin continued quietly. Plo folded his hands calmly. The Sith are deceivers, Anakin. They offer hope only to control those who seek it. Anakin shook his head. Maybe, but what if he's telling the truth? Plo gestured toward the council chamber. Sit with me. Anakin frowned. Master, there's no time. There is always time to listen to the Force. Anakin looked toward the exit again, then slowly. He sat down beside Plo. Both Jedi closed their eyes. Focus on the vision, Plo instructed. Let the Force guide you. Anakin did. He saw Padme again, dying in pain. But this time, he looked deeper. Plo spoke softly. Ask yourself how the Chancellor knew of your visions. Anakin concentrated harder. Suddenly something changed. Dark threads of the Force appeared within the vision, twisting around the nightmare like puppet strings, and at the center of it all stood Palpatine. Anakin's eyes snapped open. He did this, Anakin whispered. Realization hit him all at once. The visions, he gave them to me. Plo nodded slowly. The dark side often creates the very fear it claims to cure. Anakin's expression hardened. For the first time since leaving Palpatine's office, the storm inside him began to settle. Far away across the city, however, a far more dangerous battle had already begun. Inside the Chancellor's office, the battle was nearly over. The bodies of Kit Fisto, Saesee Tiin, and Aegon Kolar lay motionless across the floor. Only one Jedi remained standing, Mace Windu. With a final powerful strike, Windu knocked the crimson lightsaber from the hand of Palpatine. The Sith Lord stumbled backward toward the massive window overlooking the endless city below. Palpatine was cornered. Windu stepped forward, his purple blade held steady. It's over. You have lost. Palpatine slowly raised his hands, appearing weak. But through the Force, he searched for only one presence. Anakin Skywalker. For a moment, Palpatine reached out through the dark side, expecting the young Jedi to be rushing toward him. But instead he felt something else, resolve. Anakin was not coming. Palpatine's expression hardened. If Skywalker would not save him, then he would have to survive on his own. Windu raised his lightsaber. I'm going to end this once and for all. Just before Windu could strike, Palpatine suddenly reached out with the Force. A massive statue beside the wall ripped free and flew toward Windu. Windu reacted instantly, slicing the statue in half as it came crashing toward him. But the moment of distraction was all Palpatine needed. Lightning exploded from his hands. The blast slammed into Windu, forcing him backwards. The Jedi Master struggled to hold his ground as the lightning burned against him. Palpatine poured all of his hatred into the attack. Windu's lightsaber slipped from his hand. With the Force, Palpatine pulled the fallen weapon to himself. Before Windu could recover, Palpatine struck. The blade flashed once. Windu collapsed. The last Jedi of the strike team was gone. For a moment, the office was silent. Then Palpatine slowly walked to his desk. He activated the communicator connected to the entire Grand Army of the Republic. His voice was cold and commanding. Execute Order 66. Across the galaxy, Clone troopers suddenly turned their weapons on the Jedi they had fought beside for years. Blaster fire erupted without warning. Jedi generals were cut down on distant battlefields. The betrayal echoed through the Force like a scream. Back at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, Plo Koon and Anakin both felt it at the same moment. A powerful wave of darkness surged through the Force. Anakin's eyes widened. "What's happening?" Plo stood immediately. "Master Windu has failed." Without hesitation, the two Jedi began moving through the temple. Plo activated the temple-wide alarms. "The temple is now on full lockdown," he ordered. "All younglings and non-combatants proceed to the hangar immediately." Jedi rushed through the halls as the warning spread. Meanwhile, Anakin activated his communicator. The hologram of Padme Amidala appeared. "Anakin, what's wrong?" "There's no time to explain," Anakin said quickly. "The Jedi need ships, now." Padme could hear the urgency in his voice. "I'll contact Senator Bail Organa and anyone else who can help." "Thank you," Anakin said. The message ended. Inside the temple, Jedi began gathering the younglings and elders, escorting them toward the hangar. But outside the massive temple, a far more dangerous force was already assembling. Thousands of clone troopers were marching toward the temple steps, and at their head, the Dark Lord of the Sith himself. Jedi rushed through the corridors, guiding younglings and elders toward the main hangar as evacuation preparations began. At the same time, the remaining combat-ready Jedi gathered near the temple entrance. Among them stood Plo Koon and Anakin Skywalker. Beside them were some of the Order's finest defenders, Sindralig, Shak Ti, the Jedi Temple guards, and hundreds of Jedi Knights ready to fight. Through the Force, they could feel the clone army approaching. Soon the ground outside the temple trembled as rows of clone troopers marched up the massive steps. For a moment, the temple stood in complete silence. Then, the main entrance exploded inward. Smoke and debris filled the hall as wave after wave of clone troopers stormed inside, firing blasters at anything that moved. "Hold the line!" Dralig shouted. Lightsabers ignited across the chamber. Blue, green, and yellow blades flashed as the Jedi met the attack. Blaster bolts were deflected back into the advancing clones, while others cut through the soldiers trying to push deeper into the temple. The battle erupted across the Grand Hall. Temple guards formed defensive walls while Jedi Knights leapt into the ranks of the attackers. Clones fell, but more kept coming. Then suddenly, a group of temple guards were violently thrown across the room by an unseen force. They slammed into the walls and fell lifeless to the floor. The Jedi immediately felt the dark presence entering the temple. Standing among the advancing clones was Palpatine. The Sith Lord slowly stepped forward through the smoke, his yellow eyes fixed on Anakin. "Don't be a fool, Skywalker," Palpatine said. "You resisted my offer, but it is not too late." Anakin stepped forward beside Plo. "I know better than to trust a Sith." Palpatine's expression twisted with anger. "So be it." His crimson lightsaber ignited. Without warning, he lunged forward. Anakin and Plo ignited their blades at the same moment. The duel began instantly. Palpatine's attacks were fast and relentless, but the two Jedi fought in perfect coordination. Plo's calm defensive form blended with Anakin's aggressive strikes, forcing the Sith Lord back through the burning hall. Around them, the temple battle raged on. Meanwhile, far above the planet, ships began arriving over Coruscant. Reinforcements organized by Padme Amidala and Bail Organa dropped out of hyperspace. Transport vessels from Naboo, Alderaan, and Mon Cala descended toward the Jedi Temple. Back inside the hangar, younglings and elder Jedi began boarding the ships as quickly as possible. Time was running out, and at the center of the temple, the duel between two Jedi and the Dark Lord of the Sith was only growing more dangerous. Plo Koon and Anakin Skywalker, lightsabers ignited, facing the imposing figure of Palpatine. "You still resist?" Palpatine hissed, his yellow eyes burning with fury. "We know your lies," Anakin said firmly. Plo's voice was calm but resolute. "The Force will guide us." Palpatine attacked with blinding speed. Each strike was met with a coordinated parry. Plo's precise defensive form countered one side, while Anakin's aggressive strikes pressed the Sith Lord back. The Sith lunged, spun, and unleashing lightning. The two Jedi moved as one, covering each other's weaknesses. Plo deflected a bolt of lightning with his lightsaber, while Anakin forced Palpatine back toward the shattered balcony overlooking Coruscant. Around them, the Temple Guards and Jedi Knights continued to hold the line against the advancing clones, giving the others time to escape. Above the temple, the first of the evacuation ships arrived. Mon Calamari cruisers and transports from Naboo and Alderaan descended, beaming beams of light into the hangars where the survivors were boarding. Inside the Grand Hall, Palpatine's attacks grew more desperate. He spun his lightsaber, attempting to separate the Jedi, but Plo and Anakin anticipated every move. Plo glanced at Anakin. "We can hold him, but we cannot win this battle." Anakin's eyes hardened. "Then we ensure the future survives." From the hangar, the screams of evacuating younglings and the roar of ship engines reminded them of what they were fighting for. The Force guided every movement, every strike. Palpatine paused, realizing that the Jedi would not be broken, even in the chaos surrounding them. Plo looked at Anakin. "It's time." Anakin nodded, understanding immediately. The Jedi Temple would not survive the confrontation, but the future of the Order and the lives of the younglings could. Together they prepared for a final, desperate move, knowing the galaxy's fate rested in their hands. Plo Koon looked toward Anakin one last time. The temple was surrounded, the clone troopers pressing forward, and Palpatine's fury burned hotter than ever. "Go," Plo said quietly. "The Jedi need you. You are the future." Anakin hesitated, torn. "Master." "Now," Plo interrupted firmly. With a heavy heart, Anakin turned and ran toward the hangar. He jumped into a speeder and blasted off, joining the evacuation fleet. Inside the temple, Plo and the remaining Jedi Temple guards formed a final line against the advancing clones. Their lightsabers were a wall of blue and yellow, holding off the relentless tide of blaster fire. Palpatine advanced, crimson blade in hand. Plo raised both hands, reaching deep into the Force. With every ounce of strength, he lifted the temple's massive support beams. The structure groaned and cracked. Palpatine realized too late what Plo was doing. Plo's grip was unbreakable. With a final surge, the temple collapsed inward. Dust and stone rained down as the building crumbled, taking the Sith Lord and the remaining clones with it. Outside, the evacuation ships rose into the sky, carrying the surviving Jedi. On Naboo, the survivors regrouped. Among them were Anakin, Padme, and allies like Bail Organa. Holographic recordings of Windu's last battle were broadcast, exposing Palpatine's betrayal to the galaxy. Order 66 was stopped before it could destroy all the Jedi. Padme Amidala was elected Supreme Chancellor, and the Republic slowly healed. Anakin's relationship with Padme became public, and together they welcomed twins, Luke and Leia, into a galaxy finally free from Palpatine's shadow. The surviving Jedi, led by Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Yoda, began rebuilding the Order on Naboo, away from politics and closer to the true will of the Force. Plo Koon's sacrifice became legend, a beacon of courage and foresight. His vision had saved the future of the Jedi Order. The galaxy, scarred but free, finally had a chance to heal, and the Jedi, guided by the lessons of the past, vowed to be true guardians of peace. The Force was balanced again, and that is where our story ends. If you enjoyed, consider liking and subscribing. Thank you all for the support, and as always, may the Force be with you.